Good morning, class. So we are moving on to reading now. We're going to listen to the story Cactus Soup. You might hear me pause the video several times, and we're going to talk about some parts of the book, okay? So here we go with the story.
One day, a troop of soldiers came riding toward the town of San Miguel. Not everyone was happy to see them. Soldiers are all alike, no matter whose side they fight on, the mayor grumbled. They eat like wolves. There won't be a tortilla left when they get through. What shall we do? The people asked. We'll do what we've always do, said the mayor. We'll hide our food and tell the soldiers we have nothing to give them. They'll leave when they see they aren't going to be fed.
Okay, so first we're going to talk about stereotypes. As we discussed earlier this week on Monday, we briefly talked about a stereotype when we read this story. And we said a stereotype is when you judge someone or a group of people before you actually get to know them. So he's saying all soldiers are alike. They all eat like wolves. Do you think all soldiers are alike? No. Okay. That's like saying all soldiers or all teachers are boring and they don't know how to have fun. Do you think all teachers are boring and they don't know how to have fun? No, that's a stereotype. Okay. You should say no. Thank you, Kaylee, for saying no. Okay. So stereotype means that you might think all people are a certain way when they're not. Okay. They may think because you look a certain way that you act a certain way. Okay, so don't judge somebody without really getting to know each individual person. Okay, so he's saying all soldiers are alike, and that's called what? Kelsey?
That's called
Stereotype. Okay, it's all one word. The word stereo, like when you listen to the radio, stereo, we call it sometimes. Type. Stereotype someone means you think that you know who they are when you really don't, and you're judging that they're like a certain way and they may not be that way. Okay.
Everyone in San Miguel went to work. They buried sacks of beans and cornmeal in their gardens and lowered baskets of tortillas and tamales in the old stone well. Some hid chickens under their beds and ducks and geese in the bathtubs. Several carried pigs up to the rooftops, while their neighbors herded cows and sheep into the cellars. The children hung strings of chile peppers high in the trees where no one would see them. Once that was done, the townspeople put on torn, dirty clothes, smeared mud on their faces, and tried to look their best like poor, hungry people. The soldiers came riding into town on prancing horses. They wore wide sombreros with leather bandoleras slung across their chests. The captain saluted the mayor and townspeople. Señor Alcalde, mi compañeros and I have been riding all day. We are tired and hungry. Can you spare some beans and tortillas? We would be so grateful. The mayor frowned. I am sorry, Señor Capitan. As you can see, our town is very poor. Other soldiers came by the other day. They ate the few beans and tortillas we had. Now we have nothing. There isn't even enough for the little ones. The parents nudged their children, who began crying bitterly.
Okay, so what extent do these townspeople go to deceive the soldiers? What are all these things they're doing to deceive the soldiers? Y'all know what deceive means? What does that mean, Kelsey? If I'm just being deceived, or if they're deceiving the soldiers, what does that mean? What are they doing?
lying.
They're lying, okay? Being deceitful basically means you're lying. You're not being honest and truthful, okay? So what are the townspeople doing to deceive the soldiers? They did several things, didn't they? What's one, Evangeline? They hid all of their food. They sure did. What else, Kelsey?
They put disguises on.
They put disguises on. What did they do? They dressed up what?
As poor people.
As poor people. So they tried to make themselves look poor by putting on what?
Mud on their face and
ripped clothing, and they put mud on their face, tried to make themselves look dirty. Their clothes look worn and tattered. Okay. Anything else? Right there at the end of this last page, it said something else that they did. What did the kids do?
Cry.
Aaliyah?
Cry.
Cry. Were they really sad?
No.
No. Or were they scared? No. They were pretending because they wanted to really make the soldiers believe that they had no food and they were hungry. Okay.
Just as they had practiced. What a pity, the captain said. Did you hear that, amigos? There's nothing to eat in this town. It looks like we're going to have to make cactus soup. Oh no, the soldiers cried. Not cactus soup again. Stop complaining, the captain said. Cactus soup is better than no soup at all. The children stopped crying. Everyone in the plaza leaned forward to listen as the mayor asked, "What is cactus soup?" "You'll see," said the captain. "I'll make enough for my soldiers and everyone in town. However, I'm going to need help. Can you bring me a kettle of water, a stirring spoon, plenty of firewood, and one cactus thorn? We have lots of people to feed, so bring the biggest thorn you can find." The mayor ordered everyone to help. A kettle of water was soon boiling in the plaza. Cactus grew everywhere in town. The children had no trouble finding a huge thorn as long and as sharp as a needle. "This thorn will make plenty of soup," the captain exclaimed. He dropped it into the kettle and began stirring. "How can anyone make soup from a cactus thorn?" asked the priest. "Watch carefully. Perhaps we'll learn something," whispered the mayor. The people of San Miguel looked on as the captain stirred and stirred and stirred. He lifted the spoon, blew on it, let it cool, had a taste. "Not bad," he declared, as he continued stirring. "I always find that a pinch or two of salt improves the flavor. But never mind. I know how poor you are. Why ask for what you don't have?" "We have salt," said the man. "We're not as poor as that." "And pepper too," the town clerk added. "Does cactus soup taste good with chiles?" "Cactus soup is outstanding with chiles," the soldier exclaimed. People tripped over themselves, running home to fetch salt. The children climbed trees to bring down strings of chile peppers. The captain stirred the salt and the chiles into the soup. He took another taste. "It's getting better," he declared. "Too bad you don't have onions. Cactus soup always tastes better with onions. But why ask for what you don't have?" "I know where I can find some onions," said the priest. "What about garlic?" asked the sacristan. "Garlic makes excellent soup," the captain answered. The priest and the sacristan ran to the church. They came back a few minutes later with a sack of onions and several heads of garlic. The captain chopped up the vegetables and dropped them into the kettle. "Smell that soup!" he exclaimed as he continued stirring. The people of San Miguel sniffed the air. "Soup that smells this good must taste wonderful," cried the members of the town council. "If only we had some beans and carrots and tomatoes and perhaps even a fat stewing hen. Then our soup would really have flavor," said the captain. "But it's fine the way it is. Why ask for what you don't have?" The townspeople winked at each other. "Come with us," they told the soldiers. They returned in a few minutes, carrying sacks of beans, bunches of carrots, baskets of tomatoes, and several fat stewing hens. "The hens were old," said the mayor. "They wouldn't have lived much longer." "The tomatoes were spoiled," said the barber. "The beans were rotten," said the school teacher. "The carrots were moldy," said the shoemaker. "Never mind," said the captain, as he stirred and stirred the ingredients into the thick, rich soup. "That's the best part of cactus soup. Whatever you add makes it taste good. I think it's ready now. Who wants to try some?" "Me!" Everyone lined up in the plaza, bowls in hand. The captain ladled out the soup. "This is the best soup I ever ate," said the mayor. "I never tasted anything like it," said his wife. "And to think it was made from a cactus thorn," exclaimed the priest.
Okay, so the priest just said, and to think it was made from a cactus thorn. Why is that kind of funny that he says that? Is it all just a cactus thorn?
No, it's made
No.
from lots of ingredients.
Lots of ingredients. They put several things in there to make it taste good. So it's not just the cactus thorn that makes it taste good, even though it's called cactus soup. It's everything they add to it.
"Not bad," said the captain. "However, I think cactus soup always tastes better when you have something to go with it." "Such as?" all the people asked. "Tortillas, tamales, sweet potatoes, a roasting pig," cried the soldiers. "That would make for a real fiesta," the captain said. "And some music, too, for dancing later on. However, I know how poor you are. Why ask for what you don't have? Wait here," the mayor told the soldiers. He whispered orders to everyone in town. They all ran home and came back carrying tortillas, tamales, chorizo, camotes, and several fat roasting pigs. What a feast they had! As the night wore on, soldiers and townspeople ate until they couldn't hold another bite. Then they brought out accordions and guitars for singing and dancing. The fiesta lasted until dawn. Nobody in town could remember anything like it.
Hey, what is a fiesta?
It's a party.
It's a party. Good. Y'all are probably all familiar with that, even though that's Spanish. It's Spanish for party, festival. Okay, so what do they do at the fiesta? What are some things they do, Evangeline?
They play music and eat.
Play music, they eat. They don't just eat the soup, right? Even though this book is about the process of cooking the soup and all the ingredients. They have music, they have food. What else? Evangeline?
They dance.
They dance. Okay, so singing, dancing, they play music, they had guitars, they ate food, and it lasted until when?
Dawn.
Until dawn. So that means the next morning. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it?
No.
The soldiers rode away in the night. The people of San Miguel gathered in the plaza to wave goodbye. "What will we do if more soldiers come?" they asked the mayor, when the last soldier disappeared from sight. "Let them come. The more, the better," the mayor replied. "Feeding soldiers is no trouble. We can feed a whole army and have a fiesta every night as long as we remember how to make cactus soup." The story of stone soup, or nail soup, appears in quote.
Okay, sorry, I had to flip that around. So a couple more things we're going to talk about of this story, and then our classes actually get ready to go to lunch. So
Yeah.
to wrap this video up, we want to talk about the townspeople. Do you think they learned a lesson?
Probably not. Yes.
Probably not. Remember, folk tales, this is a folk tale, and the general idea of a folk tale is it's passed down, but the point of a folk tale is to what?
Entertain.
No.
No, to show someone to not do it.
To not do something, to teach a lesson, right?
Yes.
So what are they trying to teach teach us in this story, Evangeline?
To not eat other people's food. No, not to lie.
To not eat other people's food? No, that wasn't the lesson.
And lie.
Not to lie. So the townspeople tried to hide all their food, but then when they were able to share it, they ended up what?
Having fun.
Having a lot more fun, because at the end the mayor said the more the better, right?
Yes.
The more people the better. We don't need to hide our food from the next soldiers that come to town. We need to just let them join in, and we're all gonna have fun together, right?
Yes.
So do you think their lesson was maybe to not be deceitful?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think the townspeople learned their lesson?
Yes.
They probably did, because I don't think the next time they're going to want to run and hide all their food because they just had too much fun. Okay. So not to be deceitful, maybe not to stereotype. Remember what that means?
Yes.
To judge the soldiers. So the next soldiers that come into town, you think they're going to say, oh, we don't want to feed them. They all eat like wolves.
No.
That's a stereotype. You think they're going to say that next time?
No.
No, because those soldiers were actually very giving and kind to sit there and cook that soup and share it with the whole community, right?
Yes.
Okay. So a couple of things that we can take away from this folk tale. We learn probably to not be deceitful because it may turn out in the end that you have some fun. Okay. And 2, do not stereotype groups of people because they're not all the same. Okay. Even though it's a group that is, you know, all around and repeated different groups of soldiers, they're not all the same. Okay. All right, so next we're going to talk about analogies, and we'll do that in a separate video after lunch, okay? We'll see you guys later.